Hey, hold on. We about to go live, huh? All right, now you good. All right. All right, sure. Jerubbaal.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Give honor to the Most High and Son Yahushua. Well, the Battle Axes coming into another Monday night class, Monday night dine-in, where we don't dine with the swine. We always give praise and glory to our Maker for giving us the allowance to be amongst the living. So we definitely very appreciative, man, of life itself, man. Trying to get more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in this kingdom, in this wicked world, so we can get back our kingdom. Shout out to brothers pushing the truth around the four corners of the earth. Shout out to the battle axes out there around the world. All across the globe, whether you're a battle axe, whatever color, as long as you being a true light to the world, big shout out to you, man. As long as you brothers pushing the truth in all sincerity, big shout out to you, man. Shout out to my battle axe family, man, here in Dallas, man. I hope brothers and sisters get online and get some edification tonight. I know I have a couple groups. You know, my brother Yaakov, Brother Kai, I know your brothers go beyond, so just shout out to you out, man. Tonight's class, we're going to highway to the kingdom. We want to get on that highway to the kingdom. But you know, it's like getting to the freeway, getting to the highway, you got to go through all these other turns. You got streets that you got to go through. You got
Avenues.
You got patrols that don't want you to go a certain way.
Surface road.
You got taskmasters that don't want to see you make it to the highway. You got speed zones. You got speed traps. You got turns that you got to make, that you must make in order to get to the kingdom. So we're going to look at that highway to the kingdom and see exactly what that highway is, exactly how to get on that road or that path, and how to stay there and what to do when you're on that highway. Like we said, well, brothers and sisters, get some edification tonight. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, just subscribe. You can get all of our classes. We got every class night, every night except for Thursday. That's Capt 101. Okay. So, with that being said, let's go to Galatians, man. Galatians 1 and 10.
Galatians 1 and 10?
Yeah. Galatians chapter 1, verse 10 is now. Matter of fact, let's start at 7. Let's go and start and read down.
The book of Galatians, the first chapter, the 7th verse. Which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Christ.
Because there's some people that will try to prevent you from getting to that highway to the kingdom, man. Like we said, you got all kind of avenues and things of that nature that will prohibit you from trying to make it to the kingdom of the Most High God. It's some that will pervert the gospel, man, just so you won't make it to the kingdom, man.
Okay.
They know that their life is in shambles, like it was. It's lions in shambles. Straighten up the lions in shambles. They know that they don't have an inkling idea or care about the kingdom, and then they don't want you to have that same feeling.
Okay.
Right? You read the Bible, and that's what a lot of people's problem with the Bible is. They don't know the damn Bible, so they can't say that because they don't read it. Okay. It's not that they have a discrepancy with the Bible, with what it's saying. They have a discrepancy with you using the Bible. Okay. Right? Don't try to use the Bible because I'm not using the Bible, right?
Speak your own words.
Right. So that'd be the big deal. And there's a lot of people out here that want you to get to that highway, man. So we got to make sure that we buckle up, strap up our seatbelts, man, get ready for this ride in order to get to the kingdom, or the highway to the kingdom. Read that again.
The book of Galatians, the first chapter, 7th verse. Which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Christ.
Like we said, it's going to be some things trying to get to the highway. Even when you get on the highway, that's going to trouble you. But you gotta stay on that. You gotta stay on that straight and narrow. Read on.
But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed.
Because we're not talking about 45. We ain't talking about 67.
No.
What's some freeways in Florida?
I-95.
We ain't talking about 95, man. See, these are the worldly freeways. We talking about the heavenly kingdom freeway, man.
Okay.
Right? It says, though we are angels from heaven, preach any other gospel. Some people preach other ways to get to this highway. Some people preach, oh, just believe in the Old Testament. That's how you get to this highway. Okay. Some people preach, oh, well, you ain't got to keep no laws. Just come to church and come together, right? Mm-hmm. To get to this highway. But we're not preaching that. We're not preaching any other thing, right? We're preaching the way to get to the kingdom. Read on.
Verse 9. As we said before, so I say now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed.
So when you got cars want to go, oh, I got this quick way, right?
Yeah.
I got this route, man. I got this back way, man. Nah, you stay on the streets and the path that you have to go through in order to make it to the kingdom.
Straight and narrow.
Just straight and narrow. Ain't no cuts and turns. Mm-hmm. It's one way to get to this highway, right? Yeah. And we got to make sure we stay on that. If anybody else want to go different ways, well, then guess what? We let them go their way.
Yeah.
That's basically what the scripture is saying. Read out.
For do I now persuade men or God?
Read that again. For
do I now persuade men or God?
And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to persuade people. Listen to my stuff, man. We're trying to persuade brothers and sisters right now to get on that highway, that path, right?
God.
So it said, do I now persuade men or God, man, right? Read on.
Or do I seek to please men?
Mm-hmm.
For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ.
So we are not true servants unless we are trying to please the Most High God. Right? We're not out here trying to please anybody else. We're not trying to give you any other routes. We're not trying to tell you go this way, that way. We're trying to tell you to go the way of the kingdom, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. You won't hear us never talking about anything else but law, statutes, and commandments, man.
Good.
And this is basically, in a nutshell, what the highway to the kingdom is, man, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to touch that, who is that highway, how to get on that highway, right? What it is, man, right? Let's go to Proverbs, man, 4 and 2. Just start out with some precepts, man.
Proverbs 4 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Slacker, fam, I got something stuck in my teeth. My teeth are, give me a water, please. They are, your teeth, man, they get to bother you a little bit.
Good.
They trying to bother me, family, but forgive me on that. But let's go to Proverbs 4 and 2, man.
Whatever you're ready.
Let's get it.
All right, the book of Proverbs, the 4th chapter, the 2nd verse. And I got a precept for that one.
All right.
For I give you good doctrine.
So this is the way that we're trying to get you to the kingdom and give you some good doctrine, man. Thank you. We're not trying to give you no bad. If I tell you to turn somewhere else, I can feel my damn screen. If I tell you to turn somewhere else, do not the commandments, that's not good doctrine. Okay. We're trying to give you good doctrine. Read that again.
Proverbs 4th chapter, 2nd verse. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law.
And the way, the good doctrine is the law.
Okay.
So the highway, the highway to the kingdom is always based off the laws, man. You can't never miss us with the laws, man. Mm-hmm. The way to get to the kingdom, the highway is through the laws, man, through good doctrine, right? You see you had a precept?
Yeah, John 7 and 16, if I'm not mistaken. St. John 7 and 16. Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine.
What did Christ say?
My doctrine is not mine.
And that's how you know it's good doctrine, because this doctrine is coming down from the Most High God through Yahushua to the 12 tribes of Israel, man, right? Okay. And Christ is letting them know that this is not even my doctrine, this is my Father's doctrine. This good doctrine that I'm giving you, it's my Father's doctrine. I'm glad you pulled this, because We also get into that highway. That highway is also going into Christ too.
God.
But read that again.
Yahweh Shai answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
But what?
But his that sent me.
Come on, man. That's a cut too, man. Ain't no way in hell you gonna send somebody. It's gonna be the same person. And Christ is saying, my doctrine is not even my doctrine, man. It's my Father's, man. The will who sent me.
God.
They can't be the same people, man. So that Trinity, that doctrine is shut down real simple. Read on.
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine.
So if you do the will of the Father, if you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you're gonna know how to get on this highway, man. All right, you're gonna know how to get to the kingdom, to the highway to get to the kingdom. Read on.
Whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself.
And see, that 17 is tough. Whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself, because this is going into what? This is going into spiritual understanding, man.
God,
this is going to, exactly, I'm just going to hit the same next word. This is going into spiritual understanding or discernment, man. Right? You have to discern which way you should be going, how fast you need to go, what lane you need to be in, right? You know all these things. This is spiritual discernment that you're going to be dealing with this thing. It says, if any man will do the will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself. That's discernment. Whether it's somebody giving you some bad doctrine or if we're giving you the good doctrine. And we know that when you're getting good doctrine, you're lined up with what? The law. Man, perfect. Let's go back. Let's go to Isaiah 30 and 21.
Isaiah 30 and 21? All right.
We're trying to get on that highway to the kingdom, man.
God. He said 30 and 21.
You start at 20.
20, all right. The book of Isaiah, the 30th chapter, the 20th verse. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction.
Because we get the bread of adversity. We're getting the water of affliction. We are in adversity. We're going through these curses. And it said, but though you are getting that, right? Read on.
Yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
We still giving you the signs and the areas and directions, basically, right? Where to go. We that map quest right now. We that
spiritual GPS.
We that spiritual GPS right now, right? We ain't head no more. Your teachers, your seers are right here giving you the direction to go, man, right?
God.
We're giving you what turn to make, what turn not to make, man, right? Which way to go, how fast to go, what's up ahead, speed zone, whatever the case, stumbling block ahead. God. We are not removed. Your teachers are in your face showing you how to get to the kingdom of heaven. Read on.
But thy eyes shall see thy teachers.
But you're looking at your teachers right now, Israel. And a lot of people, they don't like that. They don't like to see another nigga looking just like them.
Oh, they hate that.
That nigga just like me. That nigga from the hood just like me.
Who's that nigga on that?
Who's that nigga on that nag, right? They don't like that. But you gonna see your teachers, and the Most High is gonna be, yes, your own sin gonna be your witness. When the Most High bring that judgment, and he give you that judgment day, and he say, you saw your teachers. And they said, damn, that brother that was really a teacher? Yeah.
God.
You wasn't listening to him. He was talking law, statutes, and commandments. But I went to church. Yeah, but he was talking BS.
Exactly.
He was talking jibber jabber. But that brother that you seen that you knew every day, he was giving you the scriptures, man. Read on.
Verse 21. And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee saying.
Saying what?
This is the way.
Saying what?
This is the way.
So we are trying to give y'all the understanding of being the way to get to the kingdom. Because you're going to see that this is the right way. We've been doing far too long other ways, trying to do other things to get to the kingdom, to get back into the grace of our power. But now we see that this is the way. This is how you're going to get to the kingdom, to the heaven, to the highway of heaven. Read on.
Walk in it. Walk ye in it.
Do what?
Walk ye in it.
And that's great. It said, walk ye in it, man. It's a patient race, man.
God.
Right?
Can't run in it.
It said, walk ye in it, man, right? So that's another thing. We get on this heaven. We get on this heavenly highway. Well, should we be in the fast lane? Trying to push it? Should we be going 100?
He said, walk ye in.
Nah, we're supposed to be straight and narrow, man. Get in that one lane, get in your own lane, and put it on cruise control, right?
There you go.
Because this is a marathon, not a race. Man.
See, you don't run again.
All right, read on.
When ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left.
And that's a great point. When you turn to the right, when you turn to the left, there are going to be some turns to get to the kingdom of heaven that might be kind of hard, right? But you're going to have to stay on that way, right? When you turn to the right and when you turn to the left. Just some opening precepts, man. Let's go to Proverbs 4:25.
All right. Let's see. There it is. You said 4:25?
Yeah.
All right. The book of Proverbs, 4th chapter, 25th verse. Let thy eyes look right on. And let thy eyelids look straight before thee.
It said, read that again.
Let thine eyes look right on.
It said, let your eyes look right on. See, when you're driving, a lot of people always they're inclined to doing other things. Man. They got their phones out. Yeah. They trying to talk to somebody. They trying to eat. They trying to put on makeup. But this is not how you get to the kingdom of heaven, because you'll miss that turn, boy. Yeah. That GPS will tell you turn right here, and ain't no other turn. True. Like we said, there's only one way to get to this kingdom, and them laws, statutes, and commandments. God. So you miss them laws, and you just might be stuck out, man. That's why the Bible said, let thine eyes look right on, right straight ahead. Keep your eyes focused and balanced on the task at hand, right? Read on. God. Let thy eyes look right on, and let thy eyelids look straight before thee. Read on. Ponder the path of thy feet. What does it say? Ponder the path of thy feet. Man, you got to be looking ahead of this thing, man. Ponder. You got to be ready to be ready for anything that's going to try to hinder you from getting to the highway, man. All right? Be a couple potholes, you know what I'm saying? Big old potholes. And you got to ponder that thing. You got to be ready for that. Yep. That's why I said it ain't for the swift, man. You can't be driving 80 miles an hour trying to dodge a pothole, man. Well, flip that car. That's right. You got to be sturdy. You got to be stern. You got to be on the stern. Just a steady go, man. God. Right? And this is going to help us in our walk. Read on. And let all thy ways be established. And let some of thy ways. And let all thy ways be established. See, a lot of times people like to do it on their own. Like I said, they like to take that route, that extra route. Them quick turns. Let all thy ways be established. All your ways, not some of them. Can't get on the GPS of the Most High God and then want to say, well, I know where I'm going now. No, you can't do that. God. Right? All your ways, not some of your ways. God. That's going to lean in your own understanding right there. Right? Read on. Turn not to the right. Read that again. Turn not to the right. Because you got to stay on the straight and narrow, right? Sometimes your turn might not even be a turn. Right. I used to say this all the time in the truth. When you get in the truth, you need to do what? Make a 180, not a 360. Because you do a 360, you turn all the way around. But I say you need to do a 180 and turn to the opposite. But sometimes your turns ain't even turns. Sometimes your turn might be a 90-degree turn, right? Because you have a zeal of the Most High God, but you don't have to turn all the way. You just have to turn back to the law, statutes, and commandments. So when they say don't read that again. Turn not to the right hand. So when they say don't turn to the right hand, it means stay on the straight and narrow, man. Don't try to let these laws. Don't try to put your own ideas into these laws. Don't try to make the laws fit your life. You make your life fit the laws, right? That's right. Read on. Nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. And this is how you remove your feet from evil. Don't turn here. Don't go off here. Don't veer off here, right? If the Lord say do it, man. That's what it is, man. Let's go to, what'd you say? I said Bitcoin. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 9:11. We were just talking about this. So you want to make sure you stay on that GPS, get guided. We have to stay guided by the Most High God. Our lives need to be guided by the Most High, by the book, by the law, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. All right. The book of Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter, the 11th verse. I returned, and I saw under the sun
that the race is not to the swift.
So the race is not to the swift, like we said. Ain't that you get on this highway and then you want to start going your own speed, man. You want to start going 90 and 100, man. But the speed limit is 60, man.
Get pulled over.
You'll get pulled over in this race, man, in this walk, and then you won't be able to make it again. Because now the taskmaster's go get you. Now when you get pulled over, guess what? Laws go start becoming slacked. All right, this is how you get pulled over in this walk. You start slacking the law. All right, well, I'm just gonna do the Old Testament. Or I'm just gonna do the Torah. I'm just gonna do the Tanakh. Oh, I'm just gonna do this. You start slacking ways, man. Right? Read on.
Nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding,
right?
Nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all.
So just like I said, you ain't gotta have that BMW S550 to get out there on that highway, man. As long as you out there moving, man. It ain't gotta be the best thing, it ain't gotta be the nicest car. It's not the exterior, it's the interior that we need to be working on, right? It's not about the riches, it's about understanding, man. It's not about the fastest car. Everybody wanna have the Hellcats and the
demons.
Yeah, the demon, whatever the case may be, man. They call them names there for a reason.
Yeah, because you're gonna end up in hell.
Because you're gonna end up, boy, being on demon mode for real. Let me test out the engine, go on 140 and knock you and somebody else out, man. Right? So it's not for the swift, man. When we do get on this highway, when we do finally get everything lined up and we do make every right turn to get to the highway, now we got to make sure that it's not a marathon and that it's not a race to the swift, that it's slow, steady pace, enduring to the end, right? Let's go to Isaiah. Go to Isaiah 35. Get into a little bit of this highway of the kingdom, man.
Isaiah 35 and
we'll start at 1.
The book of Isaiah, the 35th chapter, the first verse. And it reads, "The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose."
So this is the return. This is our return, man. You know, to get back to the return, we got to go back to the what?
To the beginning.
To the wilderness, right? It says the wilderness and the solitary place. That solitary place, man, is going into what's always been known as Jerusalem, our homeland, right? Shall be glad for them, right? Our homeland is going to rejoice when the true kings get back into rulership, man. The wilderness, it's going to be rejoicing as well, too, man. You know, the wilderness is a place for us to get tried, man. But we know that everything is seeking out for truth, man. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, man. We're going to be glad for the wilderness. Because what happens in the wilderness?
Well, that's when we get taught by Yahushua.
And that's where we get judged, too. We want to get judged. We're going to be happy to be judged, man. We're going to be happy to be judged by the Most High God, by Christ through the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And it says, "For them in the desert shall rejoice." Right? These are dry places, man. These are places that you don't want to get caught by yourself, right? But even in this time, when we do get on that highway, these things are going to rejoice, man, and blossom as the rose, right? Read on.
Verse 2. It shall
Matter of fact, jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. And an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness.
See, this is that highway that you need to get on. It's called the way of holiness. That highway is that righteous way, man. This is what we're getting on. When the wilderness, when the desert, when the solitary place, when they start rejoicing and be glad in us, it's because we're going to be on that righteous path, right? Read it again.
Verse 8. And an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over.
But wait a minute, the unclean can't get on this highway.
Nope.
So first of all, when we started out, we talked about just getting to the highway, right? But now you gotta understand that, guess what? You ain't gonna even be able to get to this highway with filthy rags, man. Unclean, man. With that filthy garment on, you gonna get stopped, man. The angels of the Most High God gonna be the highway patrol, man.
Like toll booth.
They gonna pull you over and say, "Man, what you doing with this garment on, man?" Why you on this way? And this is the holy way.
That's
you know, like you get on the freeway, you got to pay the toll, right? The tollway, right? Everybody can't ride the tollway unless you pay. You're not gonna be able to get on this way unless you pay for your sins, man. And that's by repenting, knocking out that old man and that old woman coming out of them filthy rags, right? Read 38 again.
And a highway shall be there.
And I'm gonna say, like real quick, a highway is basically a highway is a way to make it out, man. The Most High always left a remnant, a way, and a chance to make it out. So when you see highway, you're gonna see highway a lot in these scriptures. A highway is a chance to make it out of those dung hills, right? That's what these highways are, man. But like you said, you can't get on these highways want to be that old man. Can't get on this highway. You definitely can't get on this highway smoking weed. Oh no, I ain't just pulling you over, man. Right?
That's like riding with no tag.
That's right, riding with no tags. And you gotta have a tag on. I mean, what? You gotta have your whole armor on. You gotta have the Ephesians 16:11 on to the T, right?
Yes, sir.
Read that.
All right. And a highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it. But it shall be for those the wayfaring through fools shall not err therein.
It said, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, those that are getting tried, those that are getting want to be judged by the Most High God, want to be judged by the law, those that are letting the law lead them. This is that way for them. So when it says that highway, this is that way for them, man. Go to Isaiah 51:3. As a matter of fact, we can start at 1. Isaiah 51:1. So getting on this highway, you got to get these laws in your life, man. You can't even get on this highway without being in the laws of the Most High God. So when people be like, man, I wonder how they riding up there. They passing all. Yeah, we are. Because we on the straight now. We got a steady. There ain't no traffic up here. Right?
Isaiah 51:1. All right. Isaiah 51:1, and it reads, "Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness."
Ye that follow after what?
Righteousness.
Hearken unto me, ye that follow after righteousness, man. Those are the ones who's going to be able to get on this highway. Ye that follow after righteousness, right? And we know righteousness is Deuteronomy 6:25, keeping those commandments, or trying to keep the commandments to the best of your ability. Read on.
Ye that seek the Lord.
Ye that who?
Ye that seek the Lord.
See, this is the highway. You got to be seeking the Lord to get on this highway to the kingdom, right? I mean, that's just plain and simple. Who's going to get on the highway seeking the most, not trying to seek the Most High God, and thinking that you're going to make it on this highway? Go get your butt ramsacked, man. Go get pulled over, man. Out of there. Read on.
Look unto the rock, whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit, whence ye are digged.
So it said, look into the rock. What is that rock, man? Who is that rock?
Christ.
That's Christ. Let's get that, man. 1 Corinthians 10:4, man. Let's get that. Because that highway to the kingdom is through Christ. Yeah, we're going back. That highway to the kingdom is Christ. It's a Mashaki Hamashah, right? It's a lot of things that you got to be on. I'm going to tell you, man. It's not hard, but you have to be diligent, Israel. You got to keep these laws. You got to believe in the Most High. You got to believe in this Son, man. This is the only way you're going to be able to get on this highway, man. And then not only do you got to keep the laws, man. You got to do them, man, right? Read this.
You said 1 Corinthians 10:4. And did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock.
They drunk of that spiritual rock. When we drunk the same spiritual drink, that's how it is. Get on this freeway, we all riding the same spiritual ride. We keeping the same spiritual laws, man. Everybody got their seatbelts on with the breastplate on. It's the laws that we drinking the same. Read on.
For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach.
And that rock was who?
Hamashiach.
So that rock is Christ. Let's go back. I just want to get that precept, man. So we know that rock is Christ, man. So when it says, look unto the rock, whence you are hewn, right? Whence you were cut down in the hole of the pit, whence you are dead. We got to look back into Christ, man. Look back into that spirit. Read verse 2, Isaiah 51.
Isaiah 51 and verse 2. Look unto Abraham, your father, and unto Sarah that bare you,
Mm-hmm.
For I called him alone.
He did what?
For I called him alone.
He called him alone, man. This another thing too. Ain't finna be no other nations on this damn spiritual on this highway, man.
Nope.
It's gonna be one nation on this highway, man. We ain't playing no games, man. Right? Read that again.
Look unto Abraham your father, and look unto Sarah that bare you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him.
Let's go to Genesis 17. To show you. Ain't gonna be no wicked Negroes on here trying to stop us from getting on this highway. Ain't gonna be no wickedness going on, man. Ain't gonna be no other wicked ass nations, man. No damn Hamites, no stinking ass Hamites, man. Ethiopians, man. No wild men, no Arabs. Ain't gonna be none of them on this highway, man. We ain't got time for our highway to get blown up, man. Ain't Ali Akbar on this one. Can't fade it.
Put our potholes in the
That's
road.
right. That's right. It said, look unto Abraham your father and to Sarah that bare you, for I called him alone. This highway gonna be nothing but an Israelite party. Ain't nothing but an Israelite party.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Fringe is swinging about.
Hey man, you know it, man. You better believe it.
Yes, sir.
Genesis 17 and 7.
The book of Genesis, the 17th chapter, the 7th verse. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee.
Now this is going to Abram when he's going to get his name to Abraham. The Most High said, I'm going to establish my covenant between me and thee, me and you, right? And thy seed after thee. Read on.
In their generations, for an everlasting covenant to be a God unto thee.
For how long covenant?
An everlasting covenant.
So he said this covenant that he was going to give to Abraham, and it was going to be an everlasting covenant. Let's jump over to 19, man.
You want me to finish that one up?
Yeah.
All right. To be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
Come. Let's jump over to 7 to 19.
19. Verse 19? All right. 17 and 19. And God said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed. And thou shalt call his name Isaac.
Ishmael.
And thou shalt call his name Isaac.
Isaac, read on.
And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant.
How long?
An everlasting covenant.
Read on.
And with his seed after him.
And with his seed after him.
Come.
So when we reading, it's telling us, man, that we go, he said, that buried you, for I called him alone and blessed him and increased him. We know that we're going to be the only nation on this highway. Read on.
Verse 20. As for Ishmael,
though, read on.
I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him.
Okay, you go bless Ishmael. Well, how you gonna bless him?
And I will make him fruitful.
I'm gonna bless him by making him fruitful, right? This is the most I said. I'm gonna bless him by making him fruitful. Read on.
And I will multiply him exceedingly.
And multiply him exceedingly. Read on.
12 princes shall he beget. And I will make him a great nation.
So he said he's gonna bless Ishmael too, right? That's your son.
Yeah.
But however, he's gonna get this. He's not gonna get this. Read 21.
And verse 21. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac.
With who?
With Isaac.
Read on.
Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year.
So we see that the Most High God, he blessed Ishmael, but they did not receive the blessings of the covenant, the
promise.
The promise, but what was it? An everlasting covenant, right? So we see this. So let's go back to Isaiah 51 and 2.
Okay.
So we know that it's not going to be any other nation on this highway, man. Right?
All right. The book of Isaiah 51, 2nd verse. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you, for I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him.
Read on.
Verse 3. For the Lord shall comfort Zion.
He shall comfort who?
The Lord shall comfort Zion.
Israel. Read on.
He will comfort all her waste places.
And this is how we're gonna be comforted, even in our waste places. The wilderness where we are what? Being tried. The desert, right? All these waste places. He said he's still gonna comfort us in those waste places. Read on.
God. And he will make her wilderness like Eden.
And he said he's gonna make the wilderness like the Garden of Eden, man, right? Read on.
And her desert like the garden of the Lord.
And he said gonna make the desert like the garden of the Lord. We just got through reading this, man, right? Where it said the wilderness, the desert, they're all gonna be glad in that day. Because the Most High God is gonna make that happen. The day that we get on that highway, that spiritual highway to heaven, and we start increasing, he's gonna make that thing work, man. When we finally get to our destination, read on.
Joy and gladness.
What?
Joy and gladness shall be found therein.
And we know, man, we are not in a joyous situation right now because of these curses that we in.
God.
But we have opportunity, Israel, to get on this highway and get joy and gladness. Read on.
Thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Verse 4. Hearken unto me, my people, and I give ear unto me. Oh, my nation.
Come on, man. Let us know. Hearken unto me, my people, give ear, oh, my nation, man. Read on.
For a law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people.
So this is how he's going to make these things. This is how he's going to comfort Zion. This is how he's going to make the wilderness like Eden. This is how he's going to make the desert like a garden.
God.
It's the law. He said in the 4th. He said, for a law shall proceed from me. That's how he's going to make these things prosperous again. Let's jump over to Isaiah 11 and 16.
Okay. Did you want any more 51?
No, we good on that.
Okay.
Let's go to 11.
All right.
We'll be in Isaiah a little bit tonight.
God. All right. You said the book of Isaiah 11 and
16.
11 and 16. The book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter, the 16th verse, and it reads, there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people.
Like we said, the highway has always been a way to escape, man. Out of each captivity, basically, man. That was a highway. It was a highway from Egypt to Assyria. It was a highway from Assyria to Babylon, right? It was a highway from Babylon to Persian Media. It was a way to escape every time, man. But it's always a remnant that's going to be on it. So I said this highway ain't going to be too packed, man. You know, we know 2/3 of our people won't make it to this highway for sure anyway.
Come.
Read on.
All right. And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria.
So we know this is going into the time period of Isaiah in the Syrian captivity, right? So he said it's going to be a highway from them that are left from Assyria. Read on.
Like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
So you see it was a highway out of Egypt
to
get to Assyria. It's going to be a remnant for those, a highway, a remnant for those that was going to be able to get out of Assyria, to go to the Babylonian captivity, right? It was a highway, a way to escape, man. A pathway of like what I like to tell them at this job I work at, man. A safe place, man, right?
Yeah.
Nothing going on right here. You can't do nothing right here but keep the laws, man. Right? And when we jump over to 11 and 1, we see that who was this that was given?
It's coming through there.
Read 1.
11 and 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
So when we get to understand, we know that 11 is going into Christ, right? So when we go to 15 and 16, and you see that there's a highway from each captivity, that highway is Christ, man. That remnant is always those that believe on Christ, man, that believe on that spirit, man, right?
You can't get to the Father without Christ.
That's right. That's why we know Christ was there from the beginning of time. You see that? If we had a highway out of the land of Egypt, and we knowing that Isaiah 11 and 1 is going into Christ, that highway is Christ, man. That's why I say it's going to be a lot of stipulations to get on this highway. Are they going to be hard? No. Believe on the Father, believe on the Son, keep the commandments, man, and do it to the end, right? These are things that we can do, man.
Yes, sir.
Right? But some people just stuck in their own ways. Some people been driving the service road for so long, they don't want to get on the highway.
Nope.
And that's okay. You ain't got to believe on Hamashaki Hawashai. But you best believe the only way you're going to get to the kingdom is, man. Right?
Yes, sir.
So we see that highway, those ways to escape, will always be the spirit of Christ, leaning on Christ. Let's go to Isaiah 19.
Isaiah 19.
19 and 23.
The book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter, the 23rd verse. And In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria.
See, a highway from Egypt to Assyria. Just read that, right? Read on.
And the Assyrian shall come into Egypt. And the Egyptian into Assyria.
So it's going to be the same way, vice versa. Read on.
And the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians.
Because that's how it always was. You know, when you came out of Egypt, you know, you had some of those trying to trickle into the Assyrians. And then when we came out of the Assyrians, some of those trying to trickle into the Babylonian, right? So it says it's going to be the same way. Read on.
Verse 24. In that day shall Israel be the third with the Egypt. With Egypt.
Read that again.
In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land.
So it said we was going to be compacted in that too now, around this time. We was going to be the third, right? And it says, even a blessing in the midst of the land, because even in our captivities, there was still going to be a blessing. That blessing is what? That Egypt, that Israel was going to always have a remnant throughout that to get back on the highway.
Good.
You going into your next captivity, but boom, we're going to remnant right here to get up out of this one too.
Exactly.
Right? We're going that remnant of people that wanted to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, that want to believe on Christ, Mashaki Habashah, and boom, this is your way. This is how that blessing came up out of it, even in your curses. Right? Read on.
Verse 25. Whom the Lord of hosts shall bless.
And the Lord is going to bless us. That's how he blesses us. Read on.
Saying, blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, my inheritance.
So 25 is tough. Hold on. Wait a minute. Blessed be Egypt, my people. Why? Why was he saying blessed be Egypt, my people?
Because we was there. And Moses was there.
We was there. But guess what? They were doing the will of the Most High God. Who put us in captivity?
Egypt or the Pharaoh.
That's right. That's why he said my people. Is not saying that they actually his people, but they was doing what he wanted them to do to us, right? Then he said, blessed be the Assyrians, the work of my hands. The work of whose hands? The work of the Most High God's hands, right? And then it says, and Israel mine inheritance, right? Because throughout all this, y'all are doing the work against my people to get them to get back on the highway.
That's it.
See, they on the service road, they riding the streets. But this captivity, this Egypt captivity, this Assyrian captivity, they're going to be able to understand this thing and see that they got a chance to get back on the highway. So that's why he's saying, I'm using them to get my people, my inheritance. That's why he put that like that. And Israel, my inheritance. I'm using Egypt. I'm using the Assyrians to get back to my people, my inheritance, Israel, to get them back to the highway, man. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 32. Start at, so I'm going to start at 1. I'm going to jump down. I got one start at 1. Yeah, let's start at 1.
Start at 1? The book of Isaiah, the 32nd chapter, the first verse. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment.
So it says the king shall reign in righteousness, man. Yahweh shall will reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And we, his favorite, his chosen, his elect, we're going to be those princes that's going to rule in judgment. Who else is going to rule this world, this nation, man, but us? We're the ones going to rule in judgment, man, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to, hold that precept. Let's go to 1 Peter.
1 Peter?
Yeah. So it says that king is going to rule him, right? That's going to be Hamashaki Habashah, man. He will reign forever and ever, man. 1 Peter 4 and, you can start at 1.
The book of 1 Peter, the 4th chapter, the first verse. For as much then as Hamashiach hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise.
Do what?
Arm yourselves likewise.
It said, arm yourselves likewise. This is how our king suffered. Be ready and prepared to arm yourself and be tempted the same way, man. Right? Read on.
Arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin.
He that had suffered in the flesh had ceased from sin, man, right? When you suffer in your flesh and you take these countless hits and you steady growing your spirit, you are suffering and you're ceasing from sin, right? You're working on that spirit versus flesh. Now your spirit is taking over. Read on.
Verse 2. That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh of the lust of men, but to the will of God.
So we can't keep riding on our own passages, using our own GPS. He said sooner or later, man, when you keep taking these hits, you're going to get on this spiritual GPS eventually, right? Read on.
In verse 3, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness.
He said, for the time past of our life may suffice us that we would have the will of the Gentiles. Because we've been doing the will of every captivity we was in, right?
God.
We did the will of the Egyptians. We did the will of the Syrians, the Babylon, the Persian Medes, Roman. We wanted to do the will of the Gentiles all the time, right? Read on.
When we walked in lasciviousness.
But that's when we walked in lust and lasciviousness. Read on.
Lust. Excess of wine.
Read on.
Revelings. Banquetings. And abominable idolatry. Verse 4. Wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil.
And people think it's strange, man, that we believe in the Mashiach Yahushua. They think it's strange that we keeping these laws and statutes commandments. They think it's strange that we're not doing new moon, New Year's, and they keep talking about, hey, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And I'm telling them I don't deal with that, man.
God.
Right? They think it's strange that we don't do this thing, man. Right? But they don't understand that we're trying to get on this highway to the kingdom, man.
God.
Read on.
Verse 5. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead?
Who shall give an account to him that is ready to judge? We are.
God.
We the ones go give an account of Yahweh. Of Yahweh bringing Christ back, man.
They got to believe the report.
That's right, but they got to believe the report. That's a big con. Now read on.
Verse 6. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead.
That's why we teach gospel, not to them that know the truth, but like Paul now, the ones that don't know the truth, man. Everybody who seek learning, read on.
That they might be judged according to men in the flesh.
Read that again.
That they might be judged according to men in the flesh.
That they might be judged according to men
in the flesh.
In the flesh, man.
God.
You can't judge me.
I was just about to see to the words of my mouth.
You can't judge. You go be judged according to men in the flesh, and you go be happy about it too.
God.
When you get on this highway to the kingdom, you gonna be happy that everything is done in righteousness, man. You gonna be happy that these things happen. Read on.
But live according to God in the spirit. Verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
Let's go back to Isaiah. So we see that when you go back to Isaiah 32 and 1, it said, behold, the king shall reign in righteousness and princes shall rule in judgment. That's us. The princes that we're going to rule in judgment, man.
God.
We're going to judge you. That's why that 1 Peter 4 and 6 said, being judged by men, man. Because we are going to be happy to be judged by men, knowing that the Most High God is going to have the ultimate judge, but we're going to keep checks and balances on each other, man.
Exactly.
Right? Read verse 2.
Isaiah the 32nd chapter, the 2nd verse. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a cover from the tempest.
Read on.
As rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
As a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. As a shadow of Christ, man. Come. Just to be under Christ's shadow, man. Under his rock, man, right? As a great rock in a weary land, because we are in that weary land, right?
Come.
Read on.
Verse 3. And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim. And the ears of them that hear shall hearken.
It said, and the eyes of them that see shall not be dim. Let's go to Isaiah 35 and 5 real quick.
Isaiah 35.
So when we do finally get on this highway to heaven, man, this highway to the kingdom, our eyes ain't gonna be closed no more. We're gonna be open to everything that's going on now. Esau's, like we said, their tricks are not gonna be able to get to us like they used to, man.
Exactly.
So we're gonna have an understanding. We're gonna be spiritual understanding right now. Discern. Read on.
Isaiah the 35th chapter, the 5th verse. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped.
So the eyes of the blind are gonna be open around this time when we start judging, right? When that king reigned in righteousness, verse 1, right? When we start judging in righteous judgment, man, right? The eyes are gonna be open to the blind, right? You go to Isaiah 29:8. 29:18.
You ain't want them off of 32?
Yeah, we're going back to 32.
Okay, all right. You said 29:8?
18.
18? All right, the book of Isaiah, the 29th chapter, the 18th verse.
Mm-hmm.
And in that day,
in that day, man, we're trying to get to that day, to get to that heavenly highway. Read on.
And in that day shall the deaf hear the words out of the book.
You said the deaf gonna do what?
The deaf hear the words of the book.
They gonna hear the words. The deaf will. Read on.
And the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity. And out of darkness.
So you see in these days, man, when judgment start reigning back in truth, because hold that precept. Let's go back. That's a good one. I wanted that, and that's good. Let's go to First Idris 4 and 36.
What was that? Isaiah 29.
Yeah, that was 29:18. We done with that. Okay. We still won't go back to Isaiah 32, but let's go back. Let's go to First Idris 4 and 36.
All right, 4 and 36.
Because it said in that day, because people gonna start rejoicing, like we are right now, man. We're rejoicing for this truth, man. But it be in that day. Read this.
I got that highlighted. First Esdras, the 4th chapter, 36th verse. All the earth calleth upon the truth.
Who called upon the truth?
All the earth calleth upon the truth.
The whole earth is calling upon the truth, man. So when that truth is coming back and we're getting judged in righteousness, which is the truth, which is the law, everything is going to be greater. The eyes are going to be open to the blind, right? Those that are lame are going to be able to start moving and healing again, because we all looking for truth, man. All through our life, we went through Christianity. Some brothers went through Egyptology. Some brothers went through Muslim. Whatever the case may be, man. But the earth is still calling for the truth, man. And when we do finally get that truth, we're going to be happy for judgment, man. All right?
Isn't that like the precept that says the earth shall expose? Almost like the blood cry from the earth.
Yeah. Kind of like what Jerubbaal brought out the other day with that Genesis, man. That's right. Because the earth is going to call for truth. Read on.
All the earth calleth upon the truth. And the heavens bless it.
And the heaven is going to bless it, man. The Most High and His Son is going to bless it. Read on.
All work shake and tremble at it. And with it is no unrighteous thing.
And with it is no unrighteous thing. When you come back to this truth, ain't no unrighteous thing, man. Let's go to Isaiah 32, man. So when it said that king shall reign in truth and righteousness, princes shall rule in judgment, that's going to be when we get back, and because the earth is calling for that truth to come right now. Man. Right?
Back to Isaiah 32nd chapter. What was that? Verse 3?
Yeah, verse 3. Read 3 again.
Isaiah 32 and 3. And the eyes of them, that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Verse 4. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. It
said the heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, man. See, now we get on this highway to the kingdom. We're understanding this knowledge now. We're understanding what to do. We're knowing that we can't veer off and take this exit because we got to stay on the straight and narrow, because we got to endure forever. We know that we can't get in the fast lane and try to do 80, because now we know that this race is not for the swift, man, right? We start understanding these things, man. And it says, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly, because when you stammer, you fumble over things. You can't get your words right? Things don't come out the way they should. But let's go to Isaiah 28.
Okay. Got 5 and 6 on that line here too.
What's that?
On that 32. That 5 and that 6 here too.
We're going there.
All right. 28 and
11.
All right. The book of Isaiah, the 28th chapter, the 11th verse.
Well, you just read 10.
All right. Verse 10. For precepts must be upon precept.
Precept
upon precept.
We don't.
Line upon line.
We don't.
line upon line, here a little and there a little.
So this is how we are to ordain to read and understand the Bible, precept upon precept, right? Going here and there, making this thing line up, right? Line upon line, scripture upon scripture, right? Here a little Old Testament, there a little New Testament, right? Read on.
For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people.
He said, well, with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people. Our tongue was what? Hebrew. That's right, Hebrew. But he said now with a stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people. This is that English that he gave us, right? But guess what? Now we're understanding it now. And now guess what? Not only are we understanding this language, but now we're going back to our old language and understanding that too.
Yep.
That's because truth is coming out now. Truth is that we are not like the other people. We do not have the same tongue as them. We was Paleo-Hebrew, and now we're going back to it, man, right? Said, for with stammering lips and another tongue will it speak to his people, right? But when we get back to Isaiah 32:4, he said, the heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. We're speaking plainly in this stammering tongue and lip right now, because we're trying to get on that highway, right? Let's go back. Isaiah 32.
All right. Verse 5?
Yeah.
All right. The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
Because a vile person is a person that's wicked, man. That has no reason of being called good. But he said the wicked person shall be no more called liberal, right? Because the world is upside down. They call the gangster, they call the villain the good guy now, right? They said the vile person shall no more be called liberal. Liberal is somebody that's in agreement, right?
Yeah, fair-minded.
Fair-minded, right? But this world is turned upside down. It said now we speaking plain, right? Ain't no more stammering lips. Now we understand. Now we see that they've been calling this world upside down for so long, and now we understand and see it for ourselves. The vile person won't be called liberal no more. Read on.
Nor the churl said to be bountiful.
Churl person is like somebody who's like what? Kind of selfish.
No, they stupid.
Right, stupid. Same thing. They selfish. They kind of stupid. They for themselves, right? He said the churl person said to be bountiful. He won't be bountiful. Bountiful is somebody that shows love greatly, right? Won't be there no more, right? Because now we see with these stammering lips. Now we understand, right? Most I said we would. Let's jump over to verse 12. Verse 12, yeah.
Verse 12. And they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Verse 13. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city.
It said they shall lament for the teats and for pleasant fields, for the fruit of vine. Because sometimes, you know, it was going to come good, but then as soon as the storm hit, here come the sunshine. As soon as the sunshine hit, here come the rain again. Right? Verse 13 said, upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, man. It's going to be things that's going to get you out of, that's trying to take you out of the spirit. That's not going to be compatible with your drive to this kingdom on the highway, right? Read on.
Verse 14, because the places shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left.
And this place has been forsaken, man. Right? We are forsaking this thing, man. The multitude, read that again.
Because the places shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left. The forts and the towers shall be for dens forever. A joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks.
Let's go to 1 Peter 1:11.
Okay.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 11. It said, upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city, right? The palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of cities shall be left, forts and the towers shall be dens forever, man. Let's go to that 1:11.
1 Peter, the first chapter, the 11th verse. Searching what manner of time the spirit of Hamashiach, which was in them, did signify when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Hamashiach and the glory that should follow.
See, it's going into the things that are going to be happening beforehand, right? And the things that should follow, man. Because it said, because the palaces shall be forsaken, right? The multitude of the city shall be left. We've seen this beforehand through the scriptures, through the prophets, man. Right? And it says, and the forts and towers shall be for dens forever, and joy of wild asses and pasture of flocks, man, right? So these are things that's going to be seen, searching out what manner of time the Spirit of Christ. Because this is the things that were searched out through Christ, man, through the prophets. We spoke of Christ, the sufferings that Christ had to come through, and also the things after that we should follow as well, the things that shall follow. Right? Let's go to 1 Esdras 4:36, man. We already went there. Okay. Let's go to Isaiah 11.
Isaiah 11?
Going to Isaiah 11 right quick.
What verse?
Matter of fact, let's go back to 32, Isaiah 32, we'll come back.
Okay.
I jumped ahead.
Okay.
Let's go to 32, and what we at, 15?
Yeah, 15. Isaiah 32nd chapter, the 15th verse. Until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest.
So it said all these things are going to occur until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, man. What is that Spirit? Who is that Spirit, man? Like we said, that Spirit is Christ. That's the Spirit of Christ that we should have, man, right?
Good.
And let's go to Isaiah 11:2.
Okay. Isaiah 11:2. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him. The Spirit of wisdom and understanding.
That's the Spirit we're going to get. And these things are going to occur. All this madness is going to occur until we get the Spirit of what? Of wisdom and understanding, man. Right? Read on.
The Spirit of counsel.
The Spirit of what?
The Spirit of counsel.
Counsel. Being able to put checks and balances on each other, man. These things are going to occur until we come back. This is the only way we're going to get on this highway to the kingdom, man. Right? Read on.
And might. The Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord.
And that's heaven. Until the fear of the Lord come upon these people, right? It said the wilderness will be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest. And you know, a field is nothing compared to a forest. These things are going to grow as we grow as a nation of people, man. What you got?
Isaiah 33:6.
Let's get it.
The book of Isaiah. You want to start at 5? No problem. The book of Isaiah, the 33rd chapter, the 5th verse. The Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness.
And that's what we're trying to get filled with, right? That spirit, until that spirit come upon the whole nation, man, we're going to forever be on these highways, on these back streets, on these side streets, right? Read on.
And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time.
And what's going to lead us into knowing the time?
Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time.
That's going to be your stability. Wisdom and knowledge. Knowing what's going on. Israel, read on.
And strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
And that's your strength of salvation. The fear of the Most High God, man, right? Be kind on that, man. Good precept. Let's go to Ezekiel 37.
Ezekiel 37. Did you want more out of the 32 of Isaiah?
Yeah, we're going back.
All right, I'll hold that.
Hold your precept on 32 and 15.
God. Ezekiel
37 and 9.
Ezekiel 37 and 9. Then say he unto me, prophesy unto the wind. Prophesy, son of man. And say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon the slain, these slain, that they may live.
And that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on that spirit. 15, again, until the spirit be poured upon us from on high. That's what we're waiting on. He says, son of man, prophesy, man. Right? To the wind, man, to these different doctrines, man. Right? Come from the four winds, O Lord, from the four corners, from from where we were pushed out, man, from the four corners of the earth, man, right? And breathe on these bones that they may live, man. That's the only way we go live, get on this highway to the kingdom, man. Right? Let's go back to Isaiah 32 and read 15.
Isaiah 32,
in
verse 15. Until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest.
Read on.
Verse 16. Then judgment.
Then what?
Then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness.
Judgment go dwell in the wilderness, man. That's right. Then the Most High, see, once we get on the highway, boom, we get on that right path. The next step is what? Judgment, man. Well, we gonna be ready for that judgment because we what? Got that spirit of Hamashiach Yahushua in us, right? Read on.
And righteousness remain in the fruitful field.
And righteousness go remain. Because when we tell people what we doing this for, we're not doing it to stop. The laws go remain in the wilderness, after the wilderness. This is a rehearsal, man. Right? I always pull that in Isaiah 66 and 23, man. But let's go to Psalms 119. 165.
You said 119 and 165?
Yeah.
All right. Psalms 119.
Shalaki.
Okay.
Let's go back to Isaiah 32. We gonna read 17. Read 16 and 17 again.
All right.
Shalaki family.
Isaiah 32, right? You said 16 and 17?
Right.
Then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness.
So we waiting on that judgment, man, when we get back on this highway to the kingdom. Because we know we're gonna be doing the will of the Father. We are.
And righteousness remain in the fruitful field.
And the laws will remain in the field. Read on.
And the work of righteousness shall be peace.
The work of the law shall be what?
Peace.
That's gonna give us peace, man.
God.
Judging each other, holding each other accountable to the law, doing the law ourselves, that's gonna be peace, man. Read on.
And the effect of righteousness, quietness, and assurance forever.
And it's gonna be assurance, like we said. We waiting on that judgment to come in the wilderness after that, because we're gonna have assurance that if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, if we stay on this highway, then guess what? We'll get to the path of what we need, which is salvation, man. Everlasting salvation. Now let's go to that Psalm 119.
You want that 18?
Yeah, we're going back.
Okay.
Psalm 119, 165.
All right. Hell, that was 119 and 165. And it reads, Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend us.
So like we said, when we read in 17, and work of righteousness shall be peace, it said great peace. It's going to be in the love of thy law, man, and nothing shall offend us. We can't be offended, right? We're going to have the assurance of everlasting life then, man. We cannot be offended, right? Jump over to Psalms 85 and 10.
Psalms 85 and 10. Mercy and truth are met together.
It says mercy and truth are met together. Read on.
Righteousness and peace have kissed each other.
And what them two done? Righteousness and peace did what?
They kissed each other.
So 17 said, and the work of righteousness shall be peace. Because they work hand in hand. It said righteousness and peace, they shall kiss each other. Because they work hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, right?
Good.
Let's go back to Isaiah 32 and 17 and 18.
All right. Okay. Isaiah 32, 17. You want 17 and 18?
Yeah.
All right. And the work of righteousness shall be peace. And the effect of righteousness, quietness and assurance forever. And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation and in sure dwellings, and in a quiet resting place.
It said, my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation, man. Getting on this highway to the kingdom, that's peaceable right now. Us going to class on Sabbath, Wednesday night, Friday night class, counting on one of the things, going out to the street teach, that's peaceable to us, man. Right? And my people shall dwell in peaceable habitation and in sure dwellings. Because we know the truth now, right?
God.
We know the earth called for truth.
God.
Now we finally got the truth, right? Read on.
Verse 19.
No, read that last part.
Let's see here.
And in quiet resting places, man.
Okay.
Right? Come, read 19.
When it shall hail coming down on the forest, and the city shall be low in a low place. Blessed are ye that sow beside all waters.
That do what?
That sow beside all waters. And that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass.
So blessed are they that sow beside the waters, that stay grounded in this walk, man. That stay grounded in these laws. Go to Isaiah 62 and 10.
Isaiah 62 and 10. Isaiah 62 and 10. And it reads, Go through the gates, prepare ye the way of the people. Cast up the highway.
Cast up the what?
The highway.
It said go through and go and prepare. This is Christ. So prepare. Go through and prepare for him, right? The highway is already prepared for us through Hamashiach Yahushua, man, right? Gather out, read on.
Gather out the stone.
Gather out the stone, and that's what's going into the wheat and the tares, right? That's why there ain't gonna be no too many wickedness on this highway, man. Because you're gonna have the angel police pulling them over left and right, getting them out of there, man.
Yep.
That's a tear. That's a tear. That's a tear, right? Read on.
Lift up a standard for the people.
A standard. That standard is Christ. That standard is the law, man, right?
God.
Read on. Read on.
Verse 11. Behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. Say ye to the daughter of Zion, Behold, thy salvation cometh. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. So
that's what we want to be able to get to see, man. The reward that is with Christ, which is the Most High God's reward of everlasting life, man, right?
God.
We want to see that, man. His work is before him, man, Christ. We want to see the Father and the Son, man. That's what we checked out to see. But we got to get on the highway.
Got to.
And we got to stay on the highway and endure until the highway end, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 12. And they shall call them the holy people.
And these are the ones that's gonna make it to the end, the ones that stay on that highway and endure, they're gonna be the who?
The holy
people. The holy people, the what?
The redeemed of the Lord.
The redeemed of the Lord. What else?
And thou shalt be called sought out, a city not forsaken.
Because we do not want to be that city forsaken, man. So that remnant is going to be called a holy city, man, right? And we're not going to be forsaken of that thing. Jump over to 57 and 14 about that.
57 and 14? All right. Isaiah 57 and 14. And shall say, Cast ye up. Cast ye up. Prepare the way.
Do what?
Take up the stumbling blocks out of the way of my people.
And that's what we're doing. We got to prepare the way. The Most High God sent Christ to give us the prepare the way. And now it's up to us to prepare the way as being the prophets. Now we're going to take the stumbling block out of the people. Ain't gonna be no potholes on this highway.
Nothing.
Ain't gonna be no speed bumps on this highway. Ain't gonna be nothing floating on the highway make you go left and right and turn. You're gonna be on the straight and narrow. We're gonna take away the stumbling blocks, right? And that's what we're trying to do right now.
Good.
By infusing these laws into the nation's life, man. And that's what we have to do. All praises to the Most High Yahushua. Blessed for this class tonight.
Good.
We got to get on that highway to salvation, Israel. Get on that highway to the kingdom, man, and stay grounded in that thing, man. Right?
Good.
We hope, brother and sister, got some edification tonight in the class. Hope you got some precepts that you can add to your repertoire to gather more learning. Like I said, we thank the Most High God for this class. We always say keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Let's go to that stumbling block. Let's go to Leviticus 19 and 15. Matter of fact, 14, slightly.
Leviticus 19 and 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf.
Nor what?
Nor put a stumbling block before the blind.
So we're not trying to blind our people anymore. We're not trying to put them in a ditch anymore. We're trying to get brothers and sisters on the highway, man.
God.
Get on the highway. Get on these laws so that we can get these stumbling blocks out of our way. Read on.
But shalt fear thy God. I am the Lord.
And that's what it's all about, man. Fear. We got to get that fear back of the Most High, man. He had to knock us out our socks, man. Right?
Yeah.
Like we said, all praise to the Most High for giving us the edification to try to edify the nation for this class. We thank y'all if you haven't, like I said, tune in to the Battle Axes, man. Get that subscribe button and you can get all of our classes, man. Let's just endure and keep pushing, Israel. It's time to get on that highway, man. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.